Hello, friends. I wanted to give you an update on our Transitions Task Force meeting that we had last night. We had 9 laity and 3 staff members gather together on a Zoom meeting to begin discussing the important work of the re-entry of our congregation back to our campus. As you can imagine, there are a multitude of things that have to be considered. We are working diligently using the best scientific information and guidelines by the CDC, our government, the United Methodist Church, and other resources in setting those benchmarks so that we will know when it is safe for us to return. We are looking at the first stage or phase would be the return to our church building in terms of preparing it for worship and small groups, other activities. The second phase that we're considering is of the transition back to worship. The third phase would be the transition back to our small groups, Sunday school classes, Bible studies, things of that nature. And the fourth thing would be looking at those community groups that we are involved in that come on our campus and that we are glad that they are doing ministries to particular groups in our community. The members of our task force have all been chosen because they are either longtime members of the church, they have a great love for this church, and some of those members also have great medical knowledge and information to help us in our work. Martha Aki is an administrator for Katy ISD, and she will provide us the latest and best information on what our school system is doing in terms of their return to the classroom. Barbara Chastain is a registered nurse. She is also the chair of our Permanent Endowment Committee. Many of you know her work. Very active in the life of our church. Billy Cook, also very active member. He is our church council chair. He has a lot of wisdom to bring to the table. Hannah Kimbrough is a PhD social worker and psychotherapist, and so she's also bringing that unique perspective to some of the medical needs, psychological needs that we need to consider. Kathy McDonald is the chair of our trustees committee, and of course she will play an important role in preparing the building. Jim Meek is our delegate to the annual conference, and he is bringing what the annual conference is doing, the recommendations from the United Methodist Church. Carol Menz is our stewardship chair. She is on this committee, not only because of her long-time membership here and work in the church, but also there will be some stewardship considerations that we need to think through in terms of what it's going to cost and how we as church members will be sharing in that particular ministry as we come back together. Julie Spear, who is a member of our church council, she is also a pharmacist and has years and years of experience in that field, so she's one of our medical members as well. And finally, Don Tyndall, he is a PhD cancer research scientist, and so we have that perspective that I think is really, really important. In terms of our staff, we also have Mark Kimbrough, our associate pastor, Lori Ledger, who is our business manager, and myself. Last night, we began to discuss articles that we have read and that we will be sharing with you in the next few days. We also looked at the survey that we took for our church, and we will be sharing those results with you as well. As we do our work, we have to rely on the science behind this disease. COVID-19 is no respecter of individuals nor of faith communities. And while we all have faith that God is looking over us, I'm reminded that Jesus told us that we are to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. And so we are using the best facts and information that we can have, and we're doing so prayerfully as people of faith. We want to ensure our highest risk populations that we are taking care of them, practicing social distancing, washing our hands. We want everyone to maintain a sense of safety and security here. And so I want to close by asking you to be in prayer for our committee, that you would lift us up daily, and that you would trust us that we will be working diligently to finally return. I have to tell you that we will not be returning before the end of this month. We are looking down the road. I believe it will be soon after that. But I hope that you will be patient with our work. There's so much that we have to do and consider. So thank you very much for your prayers and your comments and guidance. And we look forward to seeing you soon.